music arises out of silence and returns to silence. God is revealed both in the beauty of song and in the power of silence. The sacred liturgy has its rhythms of texts, actions, songs, and silence. Silence in the liturgy allows the community to reflect on what it has heard and experienced, and to open its heart to the mystery celebrated. The importance of silence in the liturgy cannot be overemphasized. From Sing to the Lord, Music and Divine Worship, from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Hello, I'm Nicholas Schall, and I'm sure most of you know me as the music director here at St. Anthony. And as a music director, I love music. I love to play music at Mass and lead all of you in singing and song. As you all know, Lent is approaching, and during Lent, I always like to take a special time to emphasize silence. And this is nothing new. Christians and the faithful have been practicing silence and stillness in the liturgies and prayer for centuries. Even in the scriptures, we see lots of talk of silence. In Ecclesiastes, the passage of a time and a place for everything, it says, there is a time for silence and a time for speaking. The famous passage in Kings, where we don't find God in the crashing of the mountain and the thunder, in the lightning, in the storm and the wind, but in the still, small voice behind it all. I think one of the most poignant passages about silence for Lent is Christ going into the desert for 40 days. He left his family, his work, his regular routine, and entered into the open stillness of the desert. That is what we are called to do when we go into Lent. So during Lent, during the Masses, especially on the weekend, you'll notice some changes. First off, the accompaniment, that is the piano and the guitar, will only happen when we're singing. So we won't have any music before Mass or at the end of communion. It'll just be silent. Another big difference will be no opening song. Yes, you heard me correctly. The Mass is going to start with no singing. We're just going to enter into silence as a simple reminder that every time we come to Mass during the season, we are in the desert and we are to let go of that busyness and that clutter and surrender to God's will and his mercy. I have a few points I want to share with you, and these are not official liturgical points, just personal reflections that have helped me with silence throughout the years. The first is silence is hard. I think we can all attest to the fact that in this modern day and age, we are filled and inundated with noise, not just visual noise, not just sound noise, but visual noise. And we are always just inches away from a cell phone or a TV. So it's not easy for us when we're asked to be still, to be, particularly when there's no sound going on. So it's okay if it's not easy for you. It will feel uncomfortable. Use those moments of uncomfort to always turn to God. Take it as a reminder when you notice the silence to be, okay, it's silent. That's a reminder for me to turn my heart, turn my mind to God and what is going on in the Mass. Secondly, bring this practice of silence home. Lent is a wonderful time to either give something up or do something extra. Have you ever thought about giving up music? Have you ever thought about giving up listening to the radio on the drive to the car? Maybe you could practice silence in your daily prayer time. Instead of reading scripture or part of the scripture reading, just sit and be still. You could even go as far as having a meal once a week with your family in silence. Thank you all for being a part of this community, and I hope that during this Lent we all find ways to empty ourselves of the busyness, of those things that keep us from drawing closer to God.